Alright guys, what's up? Welcome to another MLB The Show 23 stream here on Twitch. I'm NextJG1024, and today I'm picking up where I left off with the August monthly awards program. So, when you guys last saw me yesterday, I was starting to make some progress, not a lot. I was working on Madison Bumgarner. We're very close with the monthly awards hitters and pitchers. Very close on that. And Gary Sanchez, unfortunately, is not really working out too well. So, but that's okay. We're earning XP with him regardless. So, it's also a matter of doing these missions too. Although I was kind of hoping that... what's up, Brendan? How are you? I was kind of hoping I would make a little bit more progress, but whatever. It is what it is. So, my hope is that we can eventually finish this up. We'll see how it goes. Just looking ahead, if I do all the stat missions, this is 21 here. This is 21, and then this is all... This is 20. So 21 would put me at 75 and then 95. Huh. Okay. Kind of a mixed bag if you, mostly depressed. I'll say that. Obviously I'm not very happy about the news for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I was expecting it to come, but at the same time, it's just kind of like a gut punch, you know? It's like you had hoped that this would have been it, that the Jets would have had this opportunity to finally make the playoffs and like compete. Not just be the lol Jets anymore, or the joke of the AFC East. You would hope, finally they have a good young core around, a good team. They were just a quarterback away. We finally get that quarterback and everything looks great. And then Rodgers gets hurt. Yeah, I did see, Brennan. That's why I'm talking about it. It's like... You protected him all preseason. He did all the workouts and everything, all the OTAs, all the voluntary. Yes, he tore his Achilles. So he is out for 4 to 6 months, which, being optimistic, if the Jets were to make the playoffs, they would have him back for then. No, he did not retire. Aaron Rodgers did not retire. He is still very much on the Jets roster. So, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be the same, but being somewhat of an optimist, my hope is that if the Jets could get to the playoffs, the Jets could have him. Keyword being could, because it takes 4 to 6 months for a player to heal from an Achilles tear. I looked this up already, and again, 4 months, that puts them into January, which means week 18, not completely out of the question. After all, he at least hurt himself in September. Now, if he had done it in November or December, then the season is over. But since he did it in September, as long as the Jets can remain competitive, and that's a big if, they very much could get Aaron Rodgers back in time for the playoffs. Now, the downside to that is if it's not completely healed, then Rodgers is obviously going to play hurt and take. I'm going off of the experience with Brett Favre, where Brett tried to play through an injury with the Jets and absolutely stunk. And I don't want to see that happen to Rodgers, especially knowing he's got another year with the Jets. So the upside, or the best case scenario, he comes back at week 18 and he's ready to go for the playoffs if the Jets are competitive. Again, that's a big if. Big if. I mean, unfortunately, their schedule is not exactly easy leading up to their bye. I mean, they got Kansas City, they have Philly, they have Dallas next week. Granted, they just played Buffalo, but they barely beat Buffalo. Barely. And honestly, it was their defense and their special teams that won that game. It was not the offense. So, and you can only rely on your special teams and defense to do so much. At the end of the day, you have to have an offense, and I don't see Zach Wilson as being the offense, because he's already. Just look at his stat line from that game. Yes, he had a touchdown pass, but he also had an interception, strike 3, sit down, and he threw for only 140 yards. How do you throw? You can only get away with that maybe once or twice a season. But if the Jets are going to win, they're going to have Zach Wilson throw a lot more. Or he's going to need to throw a lot more yards. I don't know if that means he needs to be more confident in his throws and just start throwing deep. After all, someone like Garrett Wilson can help him out there. I don't know. But what I do know is that Zach Wilson does have an arm to be able to do that. It's just, are the Jets actually going to let him? And, that's always been the question. You would have hoped that that a little Aaron Rodgers would have rubbed off on Zach Wilson, but from what I saw last night, he didn't learn anything. He just all he did was watch. He didn't learn anything from Rodgers. Otherwise, he would have thrown at least 200 yards last night, and he didn't. So, unfortunately, this is going to be a long season for the Jets. Again, being an optimist, Aaron Rodgers, best case scenario, Rodgers comes back in time for the playoffs, is healthy, and he leads the Jets to a deep playoff run. May not be to the Super Bowl, but at least if he can get them to the divisional series, the Jets, at least will have a season. Strike 3, sit down. Worst case scenario, they completely stink it up leading up to the bye, and they're not in a competitive state. And thus, you don't rush Aaron Rodgers back. You just let Rodgers heal, let him come back, let him rehab, whatever he needs to do. And then you have him back for next year. And this time you bubble wrap him And you also teach whoever that left tackle was. I want to say that was Mekhi Becton, and if it was, the son of a gun is turning out to be a bust. But whoever that left tackle was that didn't block that linebacker from getting to Rodgers that ultimately injured him, honestly, I'd be chewing him out right now. I'd be telling him, you were supposed to block him, you didn't, you got our quarterback hurt, now our season is in limbo because you can't block. And guess what? I could go to free agency and I could find a guy who is going to block and is going to block hard. Yes, cheater, it's Zach Wilson now. There's no other option for the Jets, although I think some people are trying to be funny and troll and say, oh, why not go get Tom Brady? Listen, Tom Brady does not want to play in the NFL anymore. Okay, he only came back for 1 year because he missed out on a lot of money because someone leaked that he was retiring from the NFL. Nah, Colin Kaepernick, no, not Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson was Donald Trump's UK ambassador or US ambassador to the UK. He is not hiring Colin Kaepernick. He's not going to do it. So, that's just my overall thoughts. No, Woody Johnson was the ambassador, the UK ambassador, or the US ambassador to the UK under Donald Trump. I don't know why. I didn't know that Woody Johnson apparently had a relationship with Trump. But apparently that was there. And that happened. Oh, crap. Crap. I forgot. Damn it. Alright, well, I'm going to have to warm up Swanson. Or I'm going to have to do warm-up pitches because I'm not putting him in cold. So, I know. Well, look, cheater, I'm not really going to comment on politics in here. I really don't want to comment on politics in here. One, because that's going to get me in trouble with my company. And two, like, I don't want to isolate anyone based on their political views. You know, at the end of the day, like, we're all in here because we all enjoy MLB The Show. So I'm not going to comment on what's going on Capitol Hill. I haven't gotten an indication that he's going to retire. If he does retire, then he's only getting $37.5 million, because why would you give him another year of $37.5 million if he's not going to play? Rodgers is not going out this way. I don't believe Rodgers is going to go out like this. I believe he wants to go out on top. He wants to go out as giving his best rather than, oh, I have this injury now, so I have to retire. I don't think that's what I don't see that happening. So I actually looked this up before I came on stream. An Achilles tear takes about 4 to 6 months for it to fully heal. Now, being optimistic, 4 months puts them into January, which, if the Jets can make the playoffs, then being best case scenario, Rodgers says he's ready to go, he's cleared, and if the Jets are in the playoffs, then he's going to lead them. That's best case scenario. No, go. You can look this up online. I just did it before I came on stream. It takes 4 to 6 months, and again, 4 is like the best case scenario. Best case. Now, I personally don't think the tear was all that bad, especially considering that Rodgers was able to walk on it. So I don't think it's all that bad. So that leads me to be optimistic that he might only need 4 months to come back. Again, I'm being optimistic. The realistic side of me would say, don't even risk it. Jets are not making the playoffs. Just let him rest. He'll come back next year, fully healthy. We'll bubble wrap him, and then we'll put him out there for week 1. Hopefully we can stay away from the Buffalo Bills, because I am thoroughly convinced that their players either do it unintentionally or are really targeting players to injure, because Mike White took a nasty hit last year against Buffalo after he came off of his Chicago game, which was one of his best games. And honestly, I think after Mike White took that hit, he was never the same. I don't think he even came close. Well, that very well may be, Cheater. That very well could be. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying, if you, as a Jets fan, I remember what happened to Mike White, and now I see this happen with Rodgers. I'm getting a little suspicious here. Maybe I'm just trying to look for some excuse not to blame the Jets for for Rodgers being injured, but it can't be coincidental that 2 Jets players go down, or 2 Jets players are hurt after having an injury or being hit by the Buffalo Bills. So I guess that's open to debate. You can certainly believe whatever you want. That would be one Julio Rodriguez, who is the monthly awards. He is the monthly awards guy. So Julio Rodriguez might even be better than Cody Bellinger. Nope. Acuna didn't even get a card. The only Braves that got a card were Iglesias here, and I thought there was one more. Nope, just Iglesias got a monthly awards card. Alright, so I just added a bunch to my collection here. Now I have Ryan Mountcastle, Sonny Gray, and Teoscar Hernandez. You're not going to grind for him? Alright. So there's Mountcastle. And let's take out DeGrom for Sonny Gray. Too many good outfielders. All right, man, whatever. Your choice. I mean, it certainly helps. It certainly helps with the set 4 collection. Like, don't forget about that. fact, I nearly forgot about it. And now I'm going to get Ryan Helsley. So there we go. You grinded so much. Okay, I can understand. I'm just, me personally, I'm gonna do this. Hold on, I need to see what the missions are. Hold on. I mean, I don't know who's, I don't know who Team Affinity for the NL Central is. I guess I can look. Let's see. You got Prince Fielder as your captain. You have a throwback Rowdy Tellez. And you got Ryan Braun. But there is if I remember correctly, you have this, this is the closest I've seen Yelich to 99. This 98 from the June monthly awards program. This is about the closest that I've seen. Okay, well, I'm just letting you know it's there. Right, so... Okay, get whoever you want. You know, I try to do the same thing myself when I do Team Affinity. Like, I always go for the Mets players first. I hope there comes a time where we're actually able to build all lineups across build a lineup across every set that we have. You know, because what was the point of me having all these cards if they're no good after like 2 months? No, after 4 months. Attaboy, Rengifo or Jiffo. Yellow, very nice. Oh, well, the Mets actually made some baseball news today. They announced that David Stearns is going to take over as president of baseball operations for the Mets once this season concludes. Although I have to say that I think it's Ken Rosenthal who's reporting this, but apparently David Stearns is going to assess the trade market value for Pete Alonso, and I'm not really too big on that idea. I'd rather see Pete Alonso in a Met uniform for life, rather than let's trade him for prospects because now we're just going to rebuild. Especially when the Mets don't even have anyone who could replace Pete Alonso. At least not as far as I see. Unless you're going to move Mauricio to first or Vientos. But Vientos is not. Vientos is not. He's not Pete Alonso. He does not have Pete Alonso power. That's just a simple fact. I get that he's not a third baseman at the elite level, but I don't think he's ready to take over for Pete Alonso if that's the way we're going to go. Again, I get that you got to have somewhere for Vientos, but I don't think, especially now with now that the DH is universal, I don't think there's any reason to develop Vientos into anything but a DH. And it's not like players haven't had success as DHs. I mean, look at Edgar Martinez. Pretty much one of the greatest designated hitters in all of baseball. Even David Ortiz was a DH for a good portion of his career. It's not a bad living to be a DH. It's not. So, at least it's a place for Vientos. Rather than him rotting on the bench. And then if you need to give Beatty or whoever the third baseman is going to be a break, then you can throw Vientos in there. But I don't agree if David Stearns is looking to trade Pete Alonso. Strike 3, sit down. I just don't agree with that at all. I'd be doing my best to make sure that Pete Alonso is locked up long term. I get that Pete Alonso wants serious money, but considering what he's done, he's had 3 40 home run seasons in the last 4 years. I can't name a single Met who has even come close to that. Pete Alonso is something special that the Mets should not, I repeat, should not let get away.
1-0.
If they do, I mean, I think that's going to be even worse than them letting Jacob deGrom walk. Come on, Gary. I'm trying to help you out here, and you're not helping me out. So I get it's a business, but sometimes as a business, you have to prove loyalty to your employees. Not to mention your consumers, too. You gotta prove loyalty to them. Oh, no! I did it again. Son of a gun. How do I keep doing this? Alright, gonna do a quick mound visit, and then we'll get Henches in here. So, I hope they reconsider. Or I hope Stearns reconsiders. But even if he doesn't, to me, David Stearns is not the GM of the Mets. He is merely the president of baseball operations. So, if anything, he should not be responsible for any trades that might go on. He can suggest them, but I would hope that the GM whoever that's going to be, because I am hoping that, wow, I'm already blanking on the Mets GM's name. See, that's how forgettable this team has been this season. I don't even remember the Mets GM's name. Hold on. Billy Epler. Thank you. Yes, Billy Epler. I am hoping that Billy Epler is not back with the Mets next year. Him and Buck Showalter need to be handed their papers. They need to, understand that this kind of foolishness should not be tolerated. Strike 3, sit down. Alright, now I'm not going to be stupid this time, and I'm actually going to warm up Swanson. I mean, seriously, I don't even think he believed himself when he said that the Mets were not in a rebuild after they just traded Verlander, Scherzer, Pham, and all their guys. Yeah, this is a rebuild. You are trading away your assets for younger players. What do you define as a rebuild, Epler? Or do you think that Met fans are just idiots? Because I can tell you, we are not idiots. And I know all those years when everyone was criticizing Sandy Alderson and everything, but at least Sandy Alderson made the Mets a winner. He made them a winner, at least in 2015, which is the closest that any GM in the Mets history since 2006 has come. So, everyone can criticize Alderson for all they want, but the reality is that as Met fans, we have to accept the fact that Alderson made us competitive. He may not have been able to finish the job, but at least we were competitive and we came close. So, I will defend Alderson as a good GM compared to Brody Van Wagen. How about Juan Minaya? Ugh, that's a name I never want to say again. And more recently, Billy Epler.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Strike 3, sit down. So, Epler, Showalter, get the F out of here. Get out of here. Never come back to New York. You are not welcome here. Strike 3, sit down. Never. And I hate to say that about Buck more than I hate to say about Epler, but this is a pattern with Buck. He has one good year and then he's horrible for the next couple seasons. Why do you think the Diamondbacks moved on from him? The Yankees, the Orioles, and you know what happened to those teams? They made the postseason the year after they let him go. Yankees, I think, went on to win the World Series. So did the Diamondbacks. The Orioles at least made the playoffs. He's just an old school manager that doesn't belong in the game today. He just doesn't. I appreciate him for his service and everything, for what he did for the Mets, especially last year. But I am not sitting through multiple losing seasons for Buck. Okay? That's just a simple fact. Have an issue with that? Oh, well. Alright, let's see. God, Gary Sanchez is going to take me forever. Wait. And unfortunately, it's not like there's another mission that I'm close to. Like, RBIs, I'm going to need some time. Sanchez is not even close to his XP. I mean, I might have a better shot with the monthly awards XP thing, but that's gonna get me all up until Kerry Carpenter. Well, actually, just short of Kerry Carpenter. I don't know. But we gotta keep going. And I know a lot of people are like, well, this isn't really all that entertaining. Look, this is by far the quickest way to do this. At least in my experience. Now, if you want me to play 9-inning games, fine. But it takes me 45 minutes to an hour to do one game. And I think I'm thinking I'm closer to an hour than I am to 45 minutes in a game. So this at least doesn't take me long, and I have multiple innings, or I could do this multiple times. And plus, I play on rookie, so it's not a challenge. It's just win the game. So, and yeah, the 9-inning game, I can get a lot more of the stat missions done because 10 RBIs is not exactly gonna require much of me, especially in a 9-inning game. But like I said, it's going to take me a while to do a 9-inning game. So at least 3-inning games don't take me as long. Wow. Perfect. Of course, this isn't helping my RBI total either. I want to... It's weird because at the same time that I'm trying to get... these runs, I'm also trying to get saves too. What's up, Grayson? Welcome back in. Yeah, but it came at a cost, and honestly, that win was more of like being drunk, and then waking up today and realizing that Aaron Rodgers is out for the season. Optimistically, I'd like to say that he's going to be back in time for the playoffs, but first the Jets have to get there. So while, yes, it was a big win for the Jets, I wonder if they can even do it again, especially considering that this Sunday they're going to be going up against Dallas. And while, maybe the Bills weren't ready for Zach Wilson, the Dallas Cowboys will be. And I don't think it's honestly that hard to get ready for Zach Wilson. So Grayson, yeah, but it takes 4 to 6 months to heal. So optimistically, he comes back in time for the playoffs. Strike three, sit down. That's being optimistic, best case scenario. Wow. Unfortunately, we knew that an injury to Rodgers would pretty much derail this season. You just would have hoped that it wouldn't have lasted long. It would have lasted longer. Well, he may. That's being optimistic. That's being very optimistic. And I like to be optimistic, but even I gotta shake my head and be like, I don't know about this one. Strike three, sit down. Especially with the Jets, you know, Zach Wilson, let's be honest, the offense got the Jets back into the game. But the defense kept it close, and the special teams won it. Essentially what I'm saying is that the Jets defense and special teams did the hard work. The offense, one touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson. That's it. You know, but against Dallas, you're not going to be able to get away with that. So I don't think the Jets are beating Dallas next Sunday. If they do, I'll be shocked. But I really don't have high hopes for the Jets, especially after that injury. And I'm a Jets fan too. Gary Sanchez has been so bad. So bad. We'll see what happens. Plenty of time now. Ah, that's going foul. Dang it! That was probably the best hit I had all game. Or the best hit ball I had all game, and I ruined it. What up? What up, Phoenix? How are ya? I should have gone with some other pitcher than JoJo Romero. Oh well, is what it is. Oh, thank God. Thank God Bellinger is actually quick. Strike three, sit down. Well, I could be better. Honestly, I'm very depressed over the Aaron Rodgers news. I'm very depressed about that. It was like we were so close. Finally had everything we needed to be a playoff team, and we just had it taken away in the first 5 minutes of week 1. And here's the funny thing too, guys, about the Jets' history with quarterbacks. This is not the first time that this has happened. You could go all the way back to 1999. The Jets had just come off of an AFC Championship loss to the Denver Broncos the previous year. They come back 1999 with Vinny Testaverde, ready to try to go after honestly, I don't think it's as bad. I am cautiously optimistic that Rodgers could be back in time for the playoffs if the Jets get there. An Achilles tear takes 4 to 6 months to be able to heal. And he did show that he could walk under his own power on it. So I don't think it's as bad. That's why I'm cautiously optimistic. But yeah, I mean, he's not going to be here for the entire season. Excuse me. Come on, get over that wall. Son of a gun!
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Ball, that's off. Now, CNL ball inside. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Strike 3, sit down. No, we lost. Well, figured I would lose. It's alright. It's one game. Also went hitless, too, with my entire lineup. That's pretty sad. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. At least I could still play on rookie. No, I think he will. I mean, after all, Aaron Rodgers is not going to retire after this. Like, to me, he doesn't seem like the type of guy that wants to be remembered as going out because of an injury. I think he wants to be able to go out on top like Rodgers, or I'm sorry, like Brady did, or Jordan, or Peyton Manning. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would just retire because of an injury. We'll just see how it goes next year. At worst case scenario. Well, no, actually, worst case scenario is that he retires. Second worst case scenario is he doesn't come back until next year. But considering that the Jets might not be competitive enough to be able to play for the playoffs this year, not the worst thing in the world. Well, at least we got a run. So at least there's that. I'm actually kind of tired of talking about Rodgers. I've already spent like a good portion of this stream talking about him. In fact, if not most of the stream, all of the stream.
0-1's the count.
Honestly, I'm being a broken record at this point. Like, it's clear what my feelings are towards the Rodgers injuries. So, I mean, the good thing is that as a Jets fan, I'm used to this. I'm used to, okay, Jets, you know, they might be somewhat good, but they're still not good enough. So I'm just back to where I was prior to the season. Well, actually, I'm back to where I was after the 2022 season. Although I will say that I find it quite annoying that some fan bases are poking fun at the Jets, like Packers fans. I know one bar, they were doing a promotion where if the Jets lost, and then patrons wouldn't have to pay their bar tab. And it's like, Packers fans understand that they could have gotten a first-round pick from the Jets if Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt, right? So they're missing out on a first overall pick who might be the difference in making the Packers a contender again, all because the Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, yet they're celebrating. And why is anyone even celebrating it? Like, why is it a good thing to see someone get hurt? I mean, I wasn't cheering when Tom Brady went down in, 2009? I mean, the Jets weren't competitive at that point. No, wait, they were, because wasn't that Brett Favre? Anyway, but either way, like, no one should be celebrating this. No one should. I don't care if you didn't like Rodgers going to New York or whatever. Seriously. Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting my RBIs now. Although I could have gotten two if I had stayed with Cody Bellinger there on third. I could have gotten a second RBI. I know, Phoenix. It's like no one should be cheering for that. No one should, and yet people were like hoping that the Jets would fail, and I don't understand that.
batting, the third baseman, James Burrow.
Like, and for the Jets, like, what? They were supposed to continue drafting young quarterbacks and seeing and hoping that one actually works out? I'm sorry, but that hasn't worked out for the Jets since Mark Sanchez. And even Sanchez didn't work out long term, he just worked out short term. Like, the Jets, they learned that's why they went out and got Aaron Rodgers, because they miraculously learned their lesson from Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Bryce Petty, Christian Hackenberg,
The first baseman, number 6, Ryan.
Zach Wilson.
Now pitching for
They learned their lesson. They are done drafting young quarterbacks who are not going to work out. They're done. So
for the Brewers, the second baseman.
it's like, what? The Jets were supposed to continue doing that until they miraculously came up on one? Like like maybe they hit on the next Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or whatever?
1 ball, 2 strikes.
So it like, why can't the Jets go out and try to get a good quarterback? It worked. It worked up until Brett Favre got hurt. Like the Jets were 8-3 when Favre was hurt and started stinking for the Jets. But up until he was hurt, he actually performed well. So I'm surprised the Jets haven't made that more of a habit. To go out there and try to, like, go get a top QB in free agency. Why not? Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now pitching for the Brewers, number 55, Kobe Miller.
And honestly, I don't think the Jets are going to do what everyone else wants them to do. Okay? The Jets are not going to listen to other fan bases, let alone listen to us, to their own fan base. They're going to run their team. Woody Johnson is going to run the team however he wants.
That's foul.
You know? But the Jets don't need other fans being like, no, you can't do that. You shouldn't be going after Aaron Rodgers. You guys need to keep drafting quarterbacks and hoping that one's going to work out. No, we don't. Do you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The Jets have done this repeatedly. Draft a young QB, hope for the best with him, and it turns out to be nothing. Unfortunately, there's not anyone on the trade market or in free agency that can help the Jets at this point. I mean, people were, I think people were trolling about this, but there were suggestions that maybe the Jets should go out and get Tom Brady, try to court Tom Brady to come out of retirement for one more year. And it's like, I don't think so. Look, Brady I feel like already hurt his legacy by doing one more year in the NFL rather than just retiring after the 2021 season. I don't think he should come back for more. He just needs to stay retired. Let him continue at least having most fans believe that he's a GOAT rather than come back and prove him wrong. I don't think it's going to happen either. There's no motivation for Tom Brady to come back. And also, why would he come back to play for the New York Jets? Like, it doesn't make sense. Tom Brady, I'll give him credit. He is very loyal to the Patriots. And the last thing that I think he's going to do is come out of retirement just so he can play with the Jets. All right, let's take a look here. At least Gary Sanchez is finally getting some XP. But other than Tom Brady, I don't see anyone else who could possibly help the Jets at this point. And for the love of God, please do not say Geno Smith. All right? Please do not say Geno Smith. Raiders are not going to separate from Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh my God! If the Jets try to go after Trey Lance, oh my God! I mean, if there is a quarterback who is worse than Zach Wilson, it's Trey Lance. So, dear God, do not bring Trey Lance here. Texans are obviously not going to part from C.J. Stroud. Colts are not going to part from Anthony Richardson. Jaguars are not going to part from Trevor Lawrence. That's pretty clear. Well, Tennessee may want to move on from Tannehill. I don't know if Tannehill is the answer, though, for the Jets, especially, in the last season or two, he's looked really bad. Like the old Tannehill of Miami. That Tannehill, rather than the Tennessee Titans Tannehill that led them to the playoffs. I mean, I guess it's an option, but personally, I don't think I want that. Let's see. AFC, no one's in the AFC East is going to trade with the Jets. Attaboy Mountcastle. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to move on from Pickens. Nor do I want that. Nor do I want Pickens anyway. Obviously, Baltimore's not going to move on from Lamar Jackson. I mean, Cleveland might be interesting. You have Deshaun Watson. That might be interesting. But it just depends on where Cleveland is in terms of like, are they competitive or not? But knowing Deshaun Watson and his troubled history, do the Jets really want that? I'm kind of thinking they don't. Obviously, Joe Burrow's not going anywhere. So that rules out the AFC North. AFC West, Jimmy G's not going anywhere. Patrick Mahomes is certainly not going anywhere. Justin Herbert's not going anywhere for the Chargers. So who does that leave? That leaves Oakland. Oh, Denver. I forgot about Denver. Yeah, they're not moving on for. Well, they may. If the season is a bit of a struggle for Russell Wilson, maybe they do want to get rid of him. I mean, the thing with the Jets is they have draft picks. They have a lot of draft picks they can part with or afford to part with in order to get a QB. And Zach Wilson may not be a bad option. I mean, he's been terrible, but that might just be, well, he may not want to be under Nathaniel Hackett again. Because that was just horrible last year for... So, that may be the case. So I've gone through the AFC South, or I've gone through all the AFC teams. And then let's see the NFC. I guess we'll start in the West. I mean, maybe the Rams are willing to part ways with Matthew Stafford. You know, maybe Stafford can be that guy that can give one more shot for the Jets. Maybe that's all he needs. So, might be worth considering at the very least. There's nobody. I already ruled out Geno Smith on Seattle. I already said no on Trey Lance from the 49ers. And Arizona, Kyler Murray is injured, so not him. So that's the NFC West. You have the South. I mean, the only viable option there is Derek Carr. And honestly, the Saints aren't going to part with him after they just signed him to a contract. Everyone else just, no thanks. So the NFC East, Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere. Dak Prescott isn't going anywhere. I doubt Daniel Jones goes anywhere. And then that leaves the Washington Commanders, who have their rookie QB. And again, I don't think he's going anywhere either. So we're just down to the NFC North now. We have Kirk Cousins, which, depending on how the Minnesota Vikings play this year, maybe they do want to part with him. I'm not saying they do, but it is a possibility. Obviously, the Packers are not giving up on Jordan Love. Neither are the Bears giving up on Justin Fields. And you have Detroit with Jared Goff. Okay, so I think in terms of a established QB, if the Jets are going to go out there and try to trade for one, I would say definitely Matthew Stafford's an option. Kirk Cousins might be an option, depending on how Minnesota plays. What did I say? I said Stafford. I said Cousins. There's also Russell Wilson, although I don't really see that happening, especially since he struggled last year under Hackett. So I don't think he wants to be under Hackett again. But if the Denver Broncos do want to move on from him, then I guess that's an option. And then Tannehill might be interesting. But he's, again, I'm concerned he's starting to look like Tannehill of the Miami Dolphins rather than Tannehill of the Tennessee Titans.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, so I would say those are the four options, at least if the Jets are going to go out and trade for a quarterback. Those are the 4 options I would take a look at.
Ball, that pitch is out. One ball, 2 strikes.
So we'll see what happens. But those, yeah, Stafford, Cousins, Wilson, and Tannehill. Those would be the guys that I would look to. At least if I'm GM of the Mets or Jets. Sorry, I'm getting my sports mixed up.
For the Lions, the catcher, Gary.
But of course, feel free to comment on YouTube what you guys think. If you think those are 4 good options, or maybe you have other options as well. Realistic options too, please. Not just, oh, the Jets should go out and try to get Tua. That's not happening. Oh, they should get Josh Allen. Not happening. Mac Jones. No. Like, realistic trade or quarterback trades that can be done.
He's out.
The batter, number 2, shortstop, Luis
Anyway.
Renfroe.
Of course, I don't think the Jets are going to do anything. Because why would they trade picks for when they believe that Wilson could be their guy? I mean, if you want to show that Wilson is your guy, then you show that by giving him the ball and letting him take the helm.
0-1's the count.
You know, he lucked himself into the starting spot. Now he needs to prove that he should keep it. Here's the sad part, though, with Zach Wilson. He knows now that no one's going to replace him. So he can be as good or bad as he wants, and the Jets are not going to be able to do a damn thing about it.
Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Because who are they going to get? Exactly, to replace Wilson if he starts to be bad. At least last year, they were able to go to Mike White. But this year, they have nobody. Unfortunately, the Jets were or were blind to the old saying, no plan is too big to fail. Well, Aaron Rodgers was failed. Well, not really. In the short term, he failed. Or the plan for him failed.
What do you got?
Strike 3, sit down. Hopefully that's enough to be able to get me to, hopefully that's enough to be able to get more progress in the monthly awards. Well, I did something. I don't know what I did. What did I do? I got RBIs. Oh, I only needed 4 RBIs? Really? Huh. How about that? I'm trying to think. Well, See, if I can do 2 9-inning games, and I'll get the XP with Gary Sanchez. I'll get the XP with the monthly awards cards, and I'll get the innings pitch with the August rewards, and that might be enough to let me complete the program. I think that's what we'll do. We'll do that. But at least now I can replace Adam Duvall. Fortunately, not able to get the saves. But with 15 here, that's going to put me at 94. So, yeah. And then I just got to do the innings pitched, and then I have it done, essentially. Ooh, wow. Adam Duvall needs to be up there. Like, even bigger than Jake Berger. All right, let's go ahead and do that 9-inning game. And we will do Sonny Gray.
Leading off for the Lions, the shortstop, Luis Rengifo.
Oh boy. Ooh, I think I am not hosed. Nice. 96 feet for you. Thank goodness. Oh, okay. I guess we're going to determine that that's a base hit. Okay. Oh, I also owe Grayson his game and honestly, I was gonna here's how I resolved the issue of whether Brennan deserved another game or not. I will give Brennan another game if we do the 3v3 with Grayson. Like that way, I think it's fair. Because Grayson, we were supposed to do the 3v3, but Grayson got kicked. We couldn't play with him, so it was just down to me and Brendan, and then Brendan got kicked. So if Grayson and Brendan come back in here, I will do the 3v3 game with them. So and I think that's fair. But if Grayson just wants to do his game 2v2, well then I'm sorry to Brennan, but I think I'm gonna have to count that last game. But honestly, I think both Grayson and Brennan want to do the 3v3, so I'm not worried about it. But that was just my plan in terms of what happened at the end of the stream last night.
1-1.
So, just in case anyone was wondering about that,
Nope.
you know, that was my plan. So 3v3, I'll play with both of them. But if Grayson only wants to do a 2v2, then that's how I'll keep it fair.
Nope, that's off the plate. Ball 2.
Strike 3, sit down. And realistically, I don't want to spend another stream trying to, you know, finish this up. Like, I want to be able to finish this tonight, if I can. And I should be able to, because the way that the math worked out in my head, I should be able to finish it tonight. Oh, I forgot about Gary Sanchez and his XP mission. So maybe I don't even. Well, I'm gonna need the 15. Yeah, I'm gonna need the 15. Well, no, actually, I don't. I don't need the 9 innings because, or not the 9 innings. I don't need the 2 games. I could get it done just by playing 1 game. I completely forgot about that. That I had Gary Sanchez's mission still to complete, and doing that with the XP mission for monthly awards. Yeah. The math works out. I should... Oh, wait. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Runner, he's going.
Because that's 15 and 5. That still leaves me 1 short. I thought I had it all worked out in my head, but I didn't. Of course, you know, I don't mind doing, like, playing here again for a 9-inning game. Because after all, that's going to net me some home runs that can easily go towards the Great Race of 98. Some of you may have noticed that while I was doing the monthly awards program grind, I actually unlocked Rob Nen. I could have gone. Oh well.
No, he's in there.
They're seriously worried about Mountcastle stealing. He's got 79 speed and 11 steal. You think I'm going with Ryan Mountcastle? I'll certainly go home, but I will not steal with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now batting for the Rockies, number 59, Jake Bird.
Go back. I don't even think he needed to dive to stop that ball. Alright, everybody go. Everybody go. Dude, my phone out. Ooh, not bad. Yeah. So. Oh, by the way, guys, I think I figured out what the secret is for getting off good shots with NBA 2K24, because I've been struggling with that, especially trying to do the like shoot threes and everything, because my build is a sharpshooter, so obviously you think he should be hitting threes, but apparently 81 is not enough. I mean, it's enough to be able to make some contested shots and a lot of wide open shots, but it's not a guarantee every time, especially if you don't time it right, which more often than not, I usually don't. Anyway, so I think I found the secret to scoring a lot of points, and that's using the pick and roll to get a couple mid-range shots. That way I don't have to spend a lot of energy to try to shoot the three. I'm not leaning to one side. I can just set my feet and shoot the ball. So I think doing that will net me, like earlier today I was just playing a My Career game and I was able to score 54 points or something like that. And a lot of those points, especially in the third quarter, because I was struggling the first two quarters, came from mid-range. And I was able to get like 38 by the time I got to 41 by the time the third quarter ended. So that was good.
Now third baseman.
But I think that's the way to be able to get points, if that's what your build is. And I think for my next build, if I do a next build, I think I'm going to do like a rebounding center at 7 foot. Just for fun, like to grab all the boards and be able to only be blocked by Wembanyama or Yama. Like, that'd be cool. But that's even if I want to do another build. Usually I'm into NBA 2K when it first comes out, and then after a while I get bored of it. Like I didn't even finish NBA 2K23, and that was probably my favorite 2K my favorite in terms of my career over the last couple of years. And yet I have not finished a full season in my career since, I want to say 2K20. Trying to think. Yeah, because that was the one with Junior, right? Or no. Junior was 2K21. What was the one before him? I forget who that one was. DJ? No, DJ was 2018. That was the worst in my opinion. And honestly, I don't even know how I managed to finish a full season in 2K18. 2K19 was... That was the one where you went to China and then you went through the G League and then you finally got to play in the NBA. I do remember that. I do. What I remember from 2K20 was that my guy played on the Los Angeles Clippers, and they won the NBA championship. The only problem was when I negotiated with the Clippers, I kept asking for more money, and then they were like, "No, we're withdrawing our offer." So my only option was to go to Dallas. I was like, son of a gun, what did I do to myself? So, I just, that was the last NBA 2K20 in my career that I finished in a regular season. Or I finished a regular season and won the NBA championship. Last one. Because 2K21 through last year, I was not able to do that. And honestly, like just this year with 2K24, I hate that there's a lack of a story. At least last year you were... I wish they would have dragged it out a little bit more. But it was entertaining because you were trying to outbeat... I forget who the rival was. Shep Owens. You were trying to outbeat him, and you had to do it through the sponsorships, through music, through fashion and everything. Like, that was fun. That was fun, albeit I didn't enjoy at times. You kind of had to be a dick. But, it was fun. This year... Oh, you're just trying to become the GOAT. Oh. Okay. Any stories? No. Nope. You're just a top drafted prospect that has high expectations. You're third generational talent, and you got to live up to all the hype. Oh. Okay, well, is there, like, a lot of sponsorships this year? No. No, maybe like 4 or 5 plus a shoe deal, and that's it. Oh, okay. So no rival, not a lot of sponsors, so not a lot of opportunities to earn VC. What the hell is so fun about this? Honestly, I might just re-download 2K23 and just pick up with my career and just do that.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Rather than... I don't know. I do want to give 2K24 a chance.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Strike 3, sit down. But I'm just saying, so far, I'm not impressed with this my career. Not impressed at all. Excuse me. Strike 3, sit down.
Your attention, please.
And also, I think it's way too online based. Like last year, yeah, you had to do some of the stuff, but you didn't have to do it all. Mets playing? Yeah, I'm not watching. Wow, did you see that? That actually hit the top of the wall out there and then bounced back into play. Wow, I don't think I've ever done or seen that before. Yes, Layla, but it did come at a cost. It came at a tremendous cost. and that cost being the rest of the season. So, yeah. I've already talked about this a bunch throughout this stream. I'll just... Well... Okay, so this is the way it was, Layla. So, Aaron Rodgers only played like 4 plays. 4 plays, he got hurt, Zach Wilson comes in for the rest of the game. So we're not even talking like 5 minutes into the game. We're talking maybe 2 minutes. And 2 minutes in 15-minute quarters is not exactly a lot of time. So Zach Wilson had all but 2 minutes in a 16-minute game to be able to show off. All he does is throw for 140 yards, 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception, and the offense didn't even win it. No, it is not good. In fact, that is horrible. Because QBs nowadays, they throw for over 300 yards in 4 quarters. They won because they were able to... They forced it into overtime. Their defense stopped the Buffalo Bills from scoring on their first overtime possession. So when the Bills punted it to the Jets, their punt returner returned it all the way for a touchdown, and that's how they won the game. Their special teams and their defense won that game. It was not the offense. It was not the quarterback.
Oh, that's inside.
Because Zach Wilson, honestly, if the Jets defense wasn't so good, they would have lost that game. They probably should have lost that game. Okay, but Layla, as an athlete, even if you're on the bench, you should be ready to have your number called at any point. You should be ready. Zach Wilson, hold on. How old is Zach Wilson? 24. He's 24 years old.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Yes, but unfortunately the expectation in the NFL is that when you're young, you're at your best. It's kind of like with the NBA, where some guys end up going into the league at 19 or 20 years old, and they're supposed to be top prospects and everything. Same expectation with the NFL, only for 22 and 23-year-olds, even 24-year-olds. I mean, he needed to... If he wasn't ready for it, then that's on him. That's on him, because he should always be ready. Or he should have always been ready. He knew that one... I'll give him... I don't have much of a choice, Layla. The Jets don't have any other quarterback they can go get to fill the void by Aaron Rodgers. So I have no choice but to trust Zach Wilson.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Okay, but they've been relying on him ever since they drafted him in the NFL. He's been their starting quarterback for the last 2 or 3 years. Finally loses his starting spot, but then gets it immediately right back because Aaron Rodgers goes down with an injury. And you're telling me the best he can do is throw for 140 yards? And he got bailed out by Garrett Wilson? Like, come on. I don't have a choice. He's going to get another shot. But I can tell you, Dallas's defense is tough, so this is not going to be an easy matchup for Zach Wilson at all. Not at all. In fact, he is probably... I am predicting that Dallas is going to do the same thing to the Jets that they did to the Giants week 1, which was basically shut them out. 40-0, the Cowboys did that to the Giants. I see 28-0 for between the Cowboys and Jets. That's my prediction. 28-0. Dallas gets the win. And Zach Wilson throws like 2 interceptions. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that I won't be. Honestly, I just wish they would already move on from Zach Wilson. It's clear that the last 2 years he wasn't it. And it was clear that they didn't have faith in him anymore because they went out and got Aaron Rodgers. Albeit now he's useless, at least for this season. But I mean, now Zach Wilson is Plan B. In essence, what I'm saying is I have no faith in Zach Wilson whatsoever as a Jets fan. I don't want to have faith in him. He can prove me wrong, but from what I've seen the last 2 years, he's given me nothing to suggest that he has potential. So, just another young failed quarterback that the Jets desperately tried to make their next Joe Namath, and it didn't work. Yet again, they have been pretty much striking out on QBs since 2012. Even a year before that, 2011, they've been striking out since 2011 on quarterbacks drafted in the NFL draft. But Layla, it wasn't the offense that beat them. It was the defense and the special teams. The defense kept the team in there. The special teams won the game. Yeah, they also beat the Bills last year too. And the Jets ended up finishing 7-10. So they didn't end up with a good record, and they were not a good team last year. I don't see how it's any different this year now that they're back to Zach Wilson. Strike 3, sit out. Yeah, defense looked great. The special teams, that's promising, especially since the last couple of years. The special teams has been lackluster. So now to see them going is encouraging, but still, this is not a defense and special team sport. This is an offensive sport. And right now, that's not what the Jets have, particularly in Zach Wilson. They did. They do. But you also need offense to carry you. You can't just rely on the defense. Take it from me, Layla. I've watched this Jets team have a great defense, but a pretty crappy offense did nothing to help that defense out. Did nothing. So, okay, let me explain how they got those 22 points. Let's see, they kicked a field goal. They kicked the second one, so that got them 6. And then they were able to tie it with a touchdown pass, the one that Zach Wilson had. Then in the last 2 minutes, they were able to score a field goal. And then in overtime, they scored the game-winning touchdown on a punt return. So only one of those scores was from the offense themselves. 9 of those points that we're talking about came from special teams. Or no, I'm sorry. Let's see. It's 9 plus 6, or 9 plus 7. That's 16. 16 of those points came from special teams. 16. I don't think I've ever seen a team score that many points with their special teams. Yes, but the good teams get into the end zone. The good teams find a way to get into that end zone and cap off the drive. They don't need to rely on their kicker to kick a bunch of field goals for them. The teams that are good offensively are going to get that ball into the end zone for a touchdown.
Now back, the catcher, Gary Sanchez.
Maybe early on it doesn't happen every time, but teams like Kansas City, absolutely they get into the end zone. The Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs not by kicking field goals, but by scoring touchdowns. They scored 3 touchdowns to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 touchdowns. Okay. All right. If you want to have hope, that's fine. I'm going in with the expectation that Zach Wilson is going to struggle against a dominant Dallas defense, and the Jets are either not going to put up anything, or somehow they're going to luck their way into a special teams score. A lot of special teams scores, actually. Strike 3, sit down. That's the way I see it, but I don't see any offense coming from the Jets this Sunday. I just don't see it. Strike 3, sit down. No. No.
Second baseman.
No.
McMahon.
Honestly, I think 17 is way too many. 16 was perfect the way it is. If they wanted to cut back on the preseason, that's fine. But the fact that they added another game, I think is BS. Because all it did was just extend the season. It didn't do anything in terms of quality. But I did not agree with the NFL expanding to 17 games. I think it should have remained at 16. And if you wanted to start the season sooner, well, then cut back on training camp. That, or start it sooner. Have it end before New Year's. And then get the playoffs started after New Year's. Give teams that extra week to be able to rest and get ready for the postseason. That's how I think they should have done it. Not this whole, let's add an extra game to the schedule. No. Because that's just one more opportunity for all these players to get hurt like Aaron Rodgers did. Plus, Layla, they can never do an 82-game season because if they play there's only 56 Sundays in the calendar year. So 82 games is not going to work anyway. And what, you're going to tell them to play 3 or 4 games a week to be able to make up for that? No, they're going to say hell no. Forget it. The Players Association would never go for that. Nope. That is never going to happen. Not unless they become superhuman and suddenly stamina doesn't mean a damn thing to them.
Nope. That's inside.
Strike 3, sit down. That's just
0-1's the
insane.
count.
An 82-game season for the NFL. Lord God help us if we ever get there.
Hey. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hey.
Strike 3, sit down. Is Gray going to have enough to be able to go a complete game shutout?
Inside, ball 1.
I mean, I'll push it with him. I mean, what do I have to lose at this point? I'm winning this game. And I did lose my fantasy game, by the way. I mean, unfortunately, you know, that's what I get for leaving Dallas's defense on my bench. Otherwise, I may have had a shot. But I also needed a quarterback. So I'm picking up Mac Jones off the wire. Hopefully he can do something, at least, you know, get close, be a little more consistent, and have more games like he did against Philly. But I guess we'll see.
Ball 2 is the count. Ball, that's inside.
So I'll just move on to next week. You know,
Now batting, the shortstop.
just move on and try to pick up more wins. I'm not worried about my running back core. I like my running back core, assuming that Aaron Jones is going to be healthy. If he's healthy, then I like my running back core. My wide receivers could definitely use some help because I can't just rely on Stephon Diggs to keep getting me points. So I'm going to have to shop around a bit for wide receivers. My tight end situation, that's fine. That's not a big deal. TJ Hawkinson should hold me over, and then hopefully Dallas will the Dallas tight end will be good. Sonny Gray, strike 3, sit down. Complete game shutout. Very nice.
Time of the ball.
Multiple home runs. I actually got like a ton. Sonny Gray goes up a tier. Yeah, I figured I would fall short. I need another 9-inning game. That or I try to do saves. Saves. I could do that, and that would get me to Julio. But that would just be doing innings pitched, and honestly, I would actually. You know what? The heck with that. I'll just play conquest games instead of doing the whole 9-inning thing. Might as well just do conquest, and then I'll end it as soon as I get Julio. Yeah, I think that's the way we'll go about this. And then if we need to get saves, we'll get saves.
Leading off for Long Island, the shortstop, Luis Rengifo.
Off the plate, ball 1. 1-1.
Alright, well, that's the plan we'll do. We'll just do conquest games and then finish up the stream that way. Sorry if it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I don't need to do another 9-inning game. Besides, that'll probably take just as long. Also, I could just replace the players that, or some of the players that I have, I could just put into my lineup. Oh well. Gotta do Madden after this. Gotta do the daily missions, I should say. Ooh, look at Max Kepler with the home run. I'll figure out, when I want to do a Madden stream just to show you guys, like, where my progress is with my Ultimate Team. It's actually pretty good. Like, I not to tap myself on the shoulder, but I'm actually, like, really proud of how I've been able to build up this team so far. Oh, wait. 2 outs. Right, I forgot. Duh. So if I am in safe situations, then I'll treat it as such. But if not, then 3 innings. That's all I'm looking for. Each game for 3 games.
I got a ball, 1 strike.
Got him. Come on. Strike 3, sit down.
Ball, that's down. Hey! I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
And this Sunday is supposed to be 17th. So then this Sunday they're going to have Bartolo Colon retire as a Met. So,
2 balls, 2 strikes.
you know, I thought about going to the game, but if all I'm going to get is a sweater with Bartolo's picture on it, or it being it's saying Big Sexy or whatever, it's like, I'm not really that interested, you know. I saw him earlier this year at Citi Field. I just didn't get an opportunity to be able to take a picture with him. But he was busy anyway, so I'm kind of doubtful that he would have been able to like, take a picture even if I wanted him to. Alright, I'm gonna warm up Perez here. I mean, I guess I could always bring in Perez, even if I end up, you know, scoring more than 4 runs or whatever, 4 more runs. Yeah, like I could have replaced Gary Sanchez here with Mitch Garber.
Hey! Ball and 1. One ball, 1 strike.
Also building up my my collection in terms of if I'm going to do team builds for Team Affinity. But you guys know that unless there's a program to be had, or unless I have nothing else on the docket to be able to stream, you know, I won't stream Team Affinity. I'll just do that like on the weekend or whatever when I'm not streaming.
All 1's the count.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Blues. Number 46. Right. Wilson.
I just want to hurry this up. I'll not spend too much time on this.
Now pitching.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd be like, hey, I'm paying for this stuff, and you guys are freeloading. You guys are taking this without asking. You know, are they contributing to other things? Like, are they contributing to rent, or is one taking care of like a cable bill or whatever? Do you guys have an agreement or something, or are you just paying for everything? You all pay. You all pay your own rent. Okay. I mean, I would definitely say something. I'd be like, oh, strangers? Oh, yeah, then. Oh, you're saying, okay. Yeah, I would say to them that okay. Yeah, I would just say to them, hey, I'm paying for this food. This is my food. Now, if you want to contribute, then, you know, give me whatever money you can afford, and I'll go get the groceries and we can share it. But if you're just paying for it and they're taking your food and everything, then I would definitely say something. Strike three. Yeah, that's a little excessive.
Number 59, Elvis Guerrero.
That's why it's important to have some kind of an agreement. You know, basically say to each other, okay, this is what we're responsible. This is what everyone is responsible for. You know, at the end of the day, you got to worry about yourself. If they don't like it, well then, tough luck for them. You know, I hate to be that kind of a jerk and everything, but if they're just freeloading off of you, then that's unfair. Because you're the one that's paying for the groceries, you should be able to enjoy it. I do recall there's a well, that's all the grounds right there to get them removed, because that's physical violence that they're perpetuating on you because of an argument. You can force them out because they are violent. You have every legal right to go ahead and force them out if they decide to get violent with you. I mean, look, you don't have to be all like, this is all my shit. How about you pay for your own stuff? I would just say, I would do it in more of a calmer tone, like, hey, I know you guys like the food and everything, but I am paying for this. I'd like to be able to keep. I'd like to be able to keep it for myself. Now, if you guys want groceries, you know, try to come to an agreement. Try to say, listen, if you guys contribute to groceries, then I'll go out and get the groceries, and then we can share them. That's one way you can resolve the issue. No, I get that. I totally get that. That's why, like, that would actually work out for everyone. That way, you guys are splitting the bill in terms of groceries. You guys are split, and yet you don't have to pay as much. You just got to pay what you know you're going to eat. That's why I'm saying, come to an agreement. Establish how much everyone should contribute to groceries every week, 2 weeks, whatever it is that you guys have. That's how I would handle it. And if they don't like that, well, then start paying for your own food. Yeah, of course, Layla. Of course. Yeah, we're just unloading on the freaking,
Number 31.
on the Brewers at this point. Of course. And like I said, if they do get violent with you, then you have every right to get them, you have every legal right to get them out. You know, with the university or with police or whatever, yeah, you have every legal right. But again, I would not try to be confrontational with it. I would try to at least come to some kind of an agreement where you guys either split the bill on the groceries, and then that way you guys can share the food, or they just start paying for their own. Your situation actually reminded me of this funny video that I saw on College Humor. Basically, the guy in the video was talking about his roommate who basically just ate all of his food, even though telling girls that he dieted and worked out and everything. Basically, he was a hypocrite. And what the guy in the video ended up deciding to do was that he took half of the food that he made for himself and put it in a separate fridge, and then the other half he would leave in the main fridge, but he would add tasteless weight gain to it, so that his roommate gained a lot of weight because of all the stuff that he was eating. It's actually pretty funny. Yeah, you could go find it on College Humor. Well, it might not be there anymore, but it definitely, your story definitely made me think of that story. Although I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's not a great way to resolve any kind of disagreement. I'm just saying your situation just reminded me of that video.
Now back, the shortstop, Julio Rodriguez.
Oh my God, we are just unloading on the Brewers.
Now pitching for the Blues, number 32, Andrew.
Oh my gosh. They ever gonna get to pitch. Well, I mean, I need them to in order to get my 3 innings. Of course, all this helps out with the team affinity, too.
All ones the count. He's out.
You know, it's also funny, like your situation with your roommates and everything. Like, it just made me think about shopping here in the U.S. in terms of groceries and everything. And, like, my dad and I, we are so different in terms of our approach to shopping. Now, my dad, he's not one of those. He's definitely not on. He's not like one of those people that are on extreme couponers, but he definitely coupons a lot.
0-1.
And if it weren't for New Jersey laws,
0-2 with the
he
count.
would actually be an extreme couponer. But they do limit how much you can coupon here in New Jersey. So, anyway, but my dad,
0-1
like,
with the count.
if he sees anything on sale, it doesn't matter if I meet him or not, or it doesn't matter if he knows if he needs it or not. He'll just get it if it's on sale. Like, he'll get it.
That's off the plate. Ball 2.
And to me, like, obviously I try to do what I can to save money, but at the same time, if I know I need something, I'm willing to pay whatever I need to be able to get it. So, like, if I need food or whatever, then I'll go out and buy it and not worry about how much it costs me. So, oh yeah. Oh, you kidding me? He always finds a way. And I mean, he even uses apps now, like apps through just to get some of the coupons and some of the meal deals and everything. Like no, not Honey app, but not Honey app, but I would say like the McDonald's app. Like he takes my brother to McDonald's every Monday, just like as a treat. And so he racks up the points enough that he can actually buy he could buy his own meal if he wanted to. Or he can use the points to pay for his own meal. Really? 14,000 points equals one meal? I didn't know that. I did not know that. I don't think here in the U.S. they do it. They actually, your points eventually expire. Like if you don't use your points at some point, they actually take away your points. So it's like use it or lose it, kind of deal. Oh, okay. Well, as far as I know, we don't have that. We don't have that whole 14,000 points get you a free meal. We don't have that. It's more one item, that's your limit, and that's it. So, like, 6,000 points gets you a Big Mac at McDonald's. I just used 4,500 points this morning to be able to get a sausage, egg, and cheese or a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, and that was only one. 4,500 points. So it's just. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it, but it's definitely a lot. And I don't go. Interesting. That's definitely not here in the U.S. They don't do that. It's one item and that's it. You can only redeem that one item. Everything else you got to pay for if you want it. So. I guess in some aspect, like, it's actually a good way to keep healthy, because let's say you do that Big Mac meal. Like, that's a lot that you're talking about. You know, fries, a Big Mac, and a drink. That's a lot. Well, what size are the fries, actually, if you don't mind me asking? And what size is the drink? Medium? Yeah, that's quite a bit. Medium for both? Yeah, that's quite a bit.
That's in. Ball two.
I miss the days when they would have $1 any size sodas. That was great.
Two ball.
But they obviously lost. They probably lost a lot of money on that. That's probably why they stopped doing that. Well, not here in the U.S. Not anymore. They didn't even do it this summer. Not at least as far as I could recall. But they actually, for like a year or two, they actually just left it, even though, or they left it in place beyond the summer. Like it was going around for like a year or two. Strike three, sit down. I mean, that may have been the pandemic, and they were trying to like draw customers in, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, but yeah, they don't do it anymore. I much imagine that they're not any different than what they are in Europe. Do they have the kiosks there? Do they have kiosks there? Or do you guys still do the whole, macarons and chips? Not at McDonald's, no. Okay, so you guys do have the kiosks. Sorry. Okay, so that's pretty similar. I actually did see a McDonald's in, I guess it was Poland or whatever. Yeah, it had to be in Poland because it was a meeting between the Secretary of State here, Antony Blinken, and the Ukrainian foreign minister. They actually stopped at McDonald's. Dude, let me tell you something. I saw the burgers that they served at that McDonald's in Poland. Holy hell. We do not have that here at the U.S. It was big. Oh my gosh. That burger actually looked like it the way that it's supposed to be advertised. Here in the U.S., it is such a smaller portion. It's like we're missing out. They are cheapening us here in the U.S. and giving you guys the bigger burgers. What the hell? And if I had burgers like that, I would say to hell with the fries and to hell with the drink. I'll just eat the burger.
Nope. That's inside.
And that'll be my lunch. Oh my gosh. That was crazy. I showed that to my coworker, and even he was in awe. Although we tease him because he actually ordered a double hamburger from McDonald's once. And so in a loving way, we tease him because we just kept calling him a monster for ordering a double hamburger instead of a double cheeseburger.
Nope. Inside. Ball two.
So it was like basically 2 sausage patties on a bun. It's like, you monster. No cheese. No cheese at all. Nothing. It was just two patties on a bun. And that was it. I'm telling you, he's a monster. No, obviously, he's a cool dude. We just tease. Nope, no condiments. No condiments, nothing. Just 2 patties and the bun. That's it. I'm sure even the McDonald's guys were like, what? Oh, I don't know how long it took him to chew, but oh my god. I've never seen anyone. Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously they have to appeal to to people's culture and everything. Like here in the U.S., they don't have to do much because we're very simplistic, and also like we don't like to waste time. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's catering to the cultures.
Safe.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going.
Like I said, it's all about catering to the culture.
He's safe.
But they at least understand that, and they're willing to make those adjustments. You know, obviously that's not going to even here in the U.S. Well, I mean, I was going to suggest that the McDonald's are also diverse here in the U.S. too. What's an American culture food? I think they could add to McDonald's. Let's see. I mean, the burgers is already the big thing. They could add hot dogs. That's an American food. I mean, we have a fast food chain called Checkers that that basically does that. They're not just a burger joint. They also sell hot dogs and all kinds of other sandwiches too. The problem is that they have I had a Costco hot dog? No, because I don't have a membership to Costco. You know, the closest that I've ever had was a Sam's hot dog. And it's so funny too, because I don't live that far away from a Costco. But they're membership exclusive, so it's like you can't just walk in. I mean, you have to have a membership. If you don't have that, well, good luck. Yes it is. And also the groceries too are quite expensive.
Ball.
80 euros per year. I think it's different. It's different depending on what kind of membership you want. Like if you're more of a basic shopper that you don't go to Costco so often, then I think you get pretty much a basic membership. I think that's like $50 or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure. And then it's obviously more for other memberships.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
So,
What do you got?
like I said, there's not one that's too far from my house. Actually, I think my mom has a Costco card because she used to get Costco gas.
Yeah.
So I have to see if she has a Costco card. Maybe I can try that hot dog. Strike 3, sit down. But I hope it's better than Sam's, because Sam's is like, eh. How many more innings? I need one more game. Alright, one more game, and then I'm done with the monthly awards program. Awesome. And I have quite a bit of time left. It's great. Oh, that was gross. I went to burp and all of a sudden something started to come back up and I was like, no. Ugh. Ugh, that just, ugh. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Ugh. Ugh. Gross. Ugh. God, I hate myself for that. Alright, at least we got that. At least we got that base running. Ugh. Come on, one more game. One more game and then this is all over. That actually took a lot less time than if I had done a 9-inning game. What is the mood like for a day like yesterday in New York? You know, question is completely out of curiosity, but it's really known around the world. Very somber, but also very patriotic, I would say. I mean, you wouldn't believe this, but the vice president, the Florida governor, who is of a different party, and the former New York City mayor, who was mayor at the time of the September 11th attacks, were all there together, and completely opposite spectrums or complete opposites of the political spectrum here in the U.S. And they were all in New York to be able to celebrate not to celebrate, but to remember the 9/11 attacks. So, yeah, exactly. That's what it always was for the U.S. Like, we don't, we obviously remember those that lost their lives and everything. And, like, obviously for those that did lose people on that day, you know, that pain is always with them 365 days a year. I mean, for the rest of us, it's one day a year that we really give a lot of attention to. But, you know, instead of, like, it being completely somber and woe is me, it's also very patriotic, like, because we all resolved Americans back then really resolved themselves to find out who did this and bring them to justice. I mean, it took 10 years to be able to do it, but, you know, every year 9/11 is such a uniting time, really. And that's what I try to focus on when I think about the 9/11 terror attacks. Not so much like everyone, a lot of people died. Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, do you guys do something for the for those for the Paris attacks that happened? What was it? 2014, 2015? Maybe it was 2016. But do you guys have something like that that might be similar to the moments of silence? Yeah, we obviously do a lot. Yeah, I mean, we obviously have a lot more than that. Oh, it's in Paris? Okay. Okay, so, like, something like that, but on a bigger scale. Like, I mean, you have the Pentagon, you have New York City, and then you also have Shanksville, Pennsylvania, for the passengers that fought back for that one, for on that flight. And it's, although I will say, it's not clear, the hijackers on that fourth flight, it's not clear as to what their target was. It's generally agreed it was supposed to be in Washington, D.C., but I've heard that it was either supposed to strike the Capitol, like the Capitol building, or it was supposed to strike the White House. They just, obviously, whatever the plan was, it never came to fruition because of the bravery of those on board who fought back against the hijackers. Yeah, so it's like, yeah. And also, Layla, the other thing too, I was still a very young kid when the September 11th attacks happened. I was just starting school when those happened, so my memory of that day, I don't have any memory of it. I can only take a guess that I probably didn't go into school that day because obviously the attacks were happening before I started school or before school started for me. And even if it did, it's not like we were there for long. You know, the country, I mean, when we say we really shut down, or when we say we shut down after that happened, we really shut down. Like, no flights, no transportation at all, no public transit, no flights, no public transit, no buses or anything. Everything just grounded to a halt when that happened. At least from what I've seen from documentaries and everything. And listen, I don't mind talking about this at all, because I think it's important that, you know, not just my generation, but other people around the world, like, understand what it means for, you know, Americans on September 11th. See in the news, but I never saw the perspective of someone who... Well, I do not live in New York. I commute to New York every day, so I don't want... if I give off that perception, I'm sorry. I'm not a New Yorker. I'm from New Jersey. But I only live like 20 or 30 miles outside of New York City, so that's why, like, to me, the World Trade Center or the flights that crashed into the World Trade Center, like, that's yeah, the proximity is there. My mother also likes to tell this story about how a kid in a school that she was a business administrator for claimed in class that his father took him. This young kid was Middle Eastern, I'm assuming, and he claimed in class that his father took him to see the World Trade Center and told him, get a good look, because this won't be around for much longer. It's actually funny because those hijackers, I think they were, yeah, she likes to tell that story all the time. I know. And what's even wilder, Layla, my dad drove his friend into New York City on that day 1 hour before the planes crashed into the World Trade Center. Or 1 hour before the first plane crashed into the World Trade Center. Yeah, so that could have been a situation where my dad could have been one of the victims. I mean, he wasn't at the World Trade Center. He was like a block down. But I'm just saying, like, he could have been caught up in all that, and who knows? I can tell you that my parents are very are very serious when it comes to the 9/11 terror attacks. Like, they were watching throughout the past weekend. They were watching all kinds of documentaries on the terror attacks. Oh, I'm sure it was. I mean, I think the best way to get like a scope of the whole, like the whole terror attack, the whole 9/11 ordeal, I think would be to visit the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. I did that back in 2014 as part of a college, get used to college kind of deal. Because I went to college in Long Island. It's really quiet there. What do you mean? Quiet in not. I mean, you have the constant running of the water, the waterfall, like to symbolize that, you know, I forget what it's supposed to symbolize, but I'm the memorial itself is really amazing. Like, if you ever get a chance to go to New York City to see it for yourself, like, go see it. I highly recommend it. And then go into the museum and get ready for quite a moving experience with it. Yeah, absolutely. I honestly cannot recommend it enough. It is really, for as horrible as those attacks were, it really is moving to see like what they've done to be able to, you know, what's the word? Remember that day. Yes, one World Trade Center. Yep, it's called I think it's called the Freedom Tower now. So in the in that building, I think it's pretty much the same thing. A lot of businesses. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I think it is. It's a bunch of businesses. You know, kind of like what the World Trade Center was. The two towers. They were just businesses or offices for business. So I much imagine it's the same thing, although maybe they also do like like consultants or just general business people. I think you can, ooh. I think you can, like, you could take a tour of the building, I'd like to say. But really, to me, the most moving part of the whole thing was the museum. You got me, Layla. Again, I was so young when it happened that I literally have no memory of that day. I mean, you look at it, it's like looking into a time capsule. When you look at photos of the World Trade Center, it's like you're looking at photos from the 80s or the 90s.
No ball, one strike.
Compared to today, like, it's so clean and so clear that you're like, wow, this almost feels like 50 years ago. Well, I'm willing to bet that 1990s New York was much different than what it is today.
Safety good.
I'm willing to bet that it's vastly different.
One and out.
I think I'll go back someday. When I have free time, maybe I'll go back to the memorial because like, first of all, the entry fee that goes to the 9/11 memorial fund, so it goes for a good cause. In case you're wondering. So at least there's that. Yeah, and they give out. I think they give out scholarships to the children of the victims. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that's what I heard they do. So obviously a great cause, you know, and just to get a better understanding of the terror attacks, like, I think that's worth it. So, like I said, definitely worth a visit if you ever get to New York City. I mean, obviously, you could check out all the other cool aspects of New York City, of course. But I think one of the more underrated places to go is the museum. So on Twitter, George Bush did a first pitch. What was the sick? Okay, so the so it's George W. Bush that you're talking about here. Although I'm sure his father George Bush, who was also president, probably threw out a first pitch. But George W. Bush, in the 2001 World Series, threw out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. So you're talking like a month or two after the September 11th, after the terror attacks. George W. Bush goes out to Yankee Stadium, and he throws the first pitch. I forget which game it was. It might have been game 2, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyway, so that was significant because that was like George W. Bush saying, "Hey, we're resilient. We're gonna come back from this, and we're gonna be okay, and we're gonna enjoy baseball like Americans do." Yeah. It's funny too because I think there's like an ESPN documentary on that pitch, like leading up to it. Obviously, they talk about the terror attacks and everything, but they really just focus on the World Series and what it meant for George W. Bush to throw out the first pitch in the World Series. Now, I'd like to point out that the Yankees did not make it a happy ending, at least that. So the first game, that was the Mets versus the Braves. And that was significant because, and this is my favorite player, Mike Piazza, hit in the bottom of the eighth
Ball.
with the Mets down 2-1 and a runner on second. Mike Piazza belted one over the wall in center field to put the Mets out in front. And like, I mean, if you could imagine that, like the Jets, if you saw the Jets crowd yesterday going crazy over that punt return touchdown, that home run by Mike Piazza, 10 times bigger crowd reaction. Like 10 times. I legitimately think that all of the U.S. was watching that game, and when Piazza hit that home run, I think everyone in the U.S. cheered. It's funny because when they did Mike Piazza's number retirement ceremony, they included that home run, obviously, and they had a couple of firefighters who, you know, who served during 9/11, were at the game, and they were describing it, and the way that one guy described it, or one of the firefighters described it, he said he hit a ball that may not have landed yet. Like that big. Like that's how he described it. So I think that's a great way to capture like what that home run meant for New York City and the US as a whole. It's also like you want a great example of exactly, yes. The home run that healed a city. That's another great way to describe it. And you want to talk about that significance of the game. I was talking about earlier how Americans really united following the terror attacks. There is yep, exactly. Another great way to describe it. Yeah, exactly. And I was talking about unity earlier with the following the terror attacks. The Braves and the Mets at that time were such heated rivals because they kept meeting up in the playoffs and kept one-upping each other in terms of playoff series and everything. When that game happened, they all came together at the pitcher's mound and they just hugged each other. Like bitter rivals, probably on the same level as Red Sox versus Yankees, and yet they all came together to hug it out as not as Braves, not as Mets, but as Americans.
Ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's the ball. Counts full.
And there are so many other great sports moments following the September 11th attacks. Honestly, I think there's an ESPN documentary that highlights all the great stories of the September or of sports following the September 11th attacks that I would just encourage you to go watch it. Go watch it and just see how much sports really meant to the U.S. following the terror attacks. It really meant a lot.
No, that's out.
You know, I used to take in high school, I took this class called Sports and Society, and my professor said one of the ways that one of the ways sports is perceived is as a unifier. You know, a game that can help, that can bring people together. And I think following the September 11th attacks, sports really helped the country do that. So, like I said, go to ESPN, find the documentary. I'm sure you could see it on the. I'm sure you could see it for free, although they may require you to pay for it. But yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of my favorite aspects of the entire day was just, or the entire attacks was. Not saying the attacks were as good or anything, but I'm saying, like, of course. I appreciate you asking, because, I mean, not a lot of people, like I said, like, even myself, I was so young when those happened that all my information that I get, or what I learn of that day, comes from from documentaries and what I learned from school, and I think it's really important that people, not only my generation, but people even younger than me, understand the significance of that day. I mean, yeah, it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's always hard to see the planes crash into the tower or into the towers, to see the plane crash into the Pentagon because they have footage of that. It's always hard. It's always hard, but honestly, the only way we can understand the significance of September 11th is by seeing those images and understanding what it meant. What up, Cheater? How are you? Oh, I was able to get Julio Rodriguez, so now I've kind of moved on to the great race of '98. You know, just doing some of the moments here. Yep, that's right. Yep, they're hiring him at the end of the season. So David Stearns is this front office executive that he was hired by the Mets to be their president of baseball operations, and basically that's the guy who's going to be responsible for day-to-day regarding the Mets, like the team. And all that. So basically he's going to be their guy that's going to try and make this team better, because Lord knows they need it. I mean, we're taking him anyway, Cheater. We're taking him. Unless he backs out. But from what I understand, David Stearns is actually a Mets fan. Like, he grew up in New York. Yeah, but you guys don't have a roster to win a World Series. Okay. Well, maybe the Mets can make something out of him. I don't know. We're willing to give him a shot. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Cheater. And good luck to the Brewers. Maybe you guys did need a change in executives, like Someone to bring in a fresh perspective for you guys. Maybe what Stearns was trying to do just didn't work for you guys, and that's okay. Maybe it'll work for the Mets. I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, look. I'll open those up tomorrow. All right, guys. That's going to do it for me. So thank you to everyone who tuned in, even if it was only for a moment. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to follow me here on Twitch and or subscribe. Either one would make me a very happy person. If you're watching this on YouTube, I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you subscribe to my channel and like the video. And if you want to know when I go live, you can follow me on on X at TTV NextJGGen24. It's my gamer tag that's in the upper left there, so go give me a follow. I'll always post whenever I go live. It is so weird to say that nowadays, but I have to say it because it's obviously changed. Or you could just turn on notifications here on Twitch. That way Twitch sends you an email every time I start up a stream. So overall, I accomplished what I wanted, which was get the monthly awards program done. And we even got some progress, even more progress, on the Great Race of '98. So that's what we're going to focus on tomorrow. I hope you'll tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern. Until then, guys, have a good night.